Hello everyone! Today we're taking you onto a wild ride into why the 1990s were basically the golden age of RPGs. Think of tangled stories, jaw-dropping worlds, emotional roller coasters, and characters you still brag about to this day. We're talking about those gems that didn't just play, we lived them, cried over them, and then started over just to do something totally different. Whether we were plotting, questing, grinding, or just goofing off in fantasy lands. If you loved RPGs, this decade had your back. Get ready to vibe with us through the very best of 90s role-playing magic. Let's go. Baldur's Gate. So, let's dive into one of the most iconic RPG series ever, Baldur's Gate. That is, born in 1998 from BioWare, and set in the Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms, the first game put you in the boots of Gorion's ward, an orphan whose quiet life explodes into danger. You're thrown into a world of political schemes, deadly mercenaries, and a huge twist. You're a Palspawn, child of the god of murder. You play as this mysterious kid from Candlekeep, raised by the monk Gorion. One night, Gorion sends you running, then gets straight up murdered in the woods. So now you're on the run, piecing together your origin and cleaning up a power-hungry iron crisis gripping the Sword Coast. The combat's real-time, but with a twist. You can pause any time to queue up tactics, mixing chill exploration vibes with strategic urgency. Even cooler, BioWare built the Infinity engine from scratch for this game. The backgrounds weren't tile-based, each was hand-painted, crazy detail for its time. This game didn't just flop, it changed everything. Critics ate it up. It snagged Game of the Year from the likes of IGN, PC Gamer, Computer Gaming World, and the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. By 2001, the game had sold more than 3.5 million copies worldwide, huge for a late 90s PC RPG. Final Fantasy VII. Alright, let's talk about Final Fantasy VII, the RPG that basically broke the internet back in 1997, but still slaps today. You're playing as Cloud Strife, a mercenary with spiky hair and attitude, teaming up with a ragtag crew to shut down an evil megacorp that's literally sucking the planet dry. Oh, and there's a supervillain Sephiroth. Yeah, dude wants to become a god, classic stuff. I remember playing this game back then. Totally nostalgic. This game was wild, full-on 3D characters on beautiful 2D backdrops, FMV scenes, a killer soundtrack by Nobuo Uematsu, and one of the most emotional moments in gaming history. And mega fun aside, it's often credited with making JRPGs a global obsession. But guess what? You can play it almost everywhere now. Want to relive childhood memories on PC, iOS, Android, PS4, Xbox One, or even Switch? It's all there, with some ports even polishing bugs, adding touch controls and modern comforts. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII is still that perfect blend of heart, hype, and heroic sword swing. If you haven't yet, you're overdue. Play it, cry a little, and thank me later. Chrono Trigger. Okay, imagine a game where you can hop from the prehistoric age to a ruined cyberpunk future, and every choice you make changes history itself. That's Chrono Trigger, the 1995 SNES classic that many fans still call the best RPG ever made. Built by Square's legendary Dream Team, the minds behind Final Fantasy Dragon Quest, and the iconic art of Akira Toriyama. This was like no ordinary RPG. You play as Chrono, an ordinary kid whose life flips upside down when a science demo at the Millennial Fair sends him through a time portal. Sooner, you're leading a crew that includes a princess, a genius inventor, a knight who is literally a frog, a robot from a ruined future, a prehistoric warrior, and even a redeemed sorcerer. You need to stop Lavos, a catastrophic alien parasite that's been lurking for millennia, quietly gearing up to end the world. Chrono Trigger stood out because it ditched random battles, added flashy team tech moves, and gave 13 different endings. The time travel wasn't just for show. It basically affected future events. With gorgeous pixel art, memorable characters, and one of the greatest soundtracks in gaming, Chrono Trigger isn't just a retro, it's timeless and was really fun to play back then. Secret of Mana. Pulling a sword out of a rock. Classic life choice, right? That's just the start of Secret of Mana's tale. This isn't your usual step-and-turn RPG. It's pure real-time action, with a clever stamina bar so you can't just button mash your way to glory. Your band of three, a sword wielder, a healer, and a pesky sprite, swings into battle, and you know what's the best part? Your buddies can drop in anytime for local 3-player co-op. Total game changer back in '93. When the ring menu pops up, everything freezes so you can switch weapons, cast spells, or whip out items. Super smooth for its time. And let's talk look and feel. The colors are vibrant, landscapes pop, and the Mode 7 Flammy flights are a real SNES flex. Plus, Hiroki Kikuta's soundtrack? Totally unforgettable. Ports are a mixed bag. The mobile versions try to mimic the original with touch controls and tweaks, but they can feel laggy or glitchy, especially on newer iOS. For a faithful play, go SNES or the Collection of Mana on Switch. That 3-player co-op vibe still slaps. In basic words, I mean, Secret of Mana is an old school, wired up with charm, action, magic, and co-op chaos that still rocks today. Dragon Quest for the Chapters of the Chosen. Have you guys ever wondered what it's like to jump into several stories before the main adventure even begins? That's exactly what you get with Dragon Quest IV, Chapters of the Chosen. Released in 1990, this RPG shakes things up by tossing you into the shoes of a royal knight, a runaway princess, a quirky merchant, and a pair of magical sisters, all before you even meet the game's true hero. Each chapter has its own vibe and goals, so there's always something fresh as you move from quest to quest. This was one of my favorites. I remember playing a lot. Instead of a slow grind, you'll experience all sorts of epic moments early. Then everything ties together in Chapter 5 when the entire party joins up to take on the big bad, Psaro the Manslayer. You get classic turn-based battles, tons of loot, and that iconic Akira Toriyama art style. Yup, the Dragon Ball guy. What's cool is how each remake adds something special. Bonus chapters, extra dungeons, even a talking party chat. Want something old school? The NES version nails it. Prefer a modern touch? The DS and mobile ports have loads of extra content and smoother gameplay. In the end, Dragon Quest IV isn't just an RPG, it's a multi-perspective adventure full of heart, timeless music, and legendary storytelling, making it a must-play for anyone who loves classic games. Earthbound, aka Mother 2. Do you know about those RPGs that drop you into a suburban town, armed with nothing but your wits and a creepy bat, and it still feels epic? That's Earthbound, aka Mother 2 in Japan. After a 5-year development under the guidance of Shigesato Itoi and Satoru Iwata, Nintendo unleashed this tongue-in-cheek RPG in 1994 in Japan and 1995 in the US, starring Ness and friends Paula, Jeff, and Pooh in a wild road trip to collect sacred melodies and stop evil incarnate. Giga's SNES Earthbound is a quirky, satirical love letter to American suburbia, with pencil eraser monsters, rolling HP meters, and pizza delivery mechanics all parading through your screen. It was like something weirder than your average RPG, and that's why we love it. Despite its low-key debut, thanks to an odd $70 price tag and not-so-fancy graphics, the game rose from sales ashes to full-on cult legend over time, with Ness even making Smash Bros. Cameos to boost its fame. The GBA port, Mother 1+2, only in Japan, and honestly, kind of a hot mess, muddled music, garish colours, and quirky glitches, though diehards found wild ways to cheese Gigas with poison. Bottom line, it's weird, warm, and unforgettable. If you crave a nostalgic ride full of laughs and heart, Earthbound delivers in spades.
My mind is set. Corwin shall take thee to the abyss. Return here with my daughter, and thy innocence shall be proven. If thou dost not return, Avatar, then thy lies shall have brought thee low.
Ultima Underworld, the Stygian Abyss. Let me dive you into one of gaming's most legendary RPGs, Ultima Underworld, the Stygian Abyss. Released in 1992, this baby wasn't just another dungeon crawler, it was the first game to drop you into a first-person 3D world, where you could look up and down, swim, jump, and explore vertical shafts long before Doom or Quake even whispered hello. You play as the Avatar, wrongly accused and thrown into a massive underground prison. Your mission to complete: rescue a baron's kidnapped daughter and dig into a conspiracy that goes deeper than the rocks around you. The insane freedom you get, auto-mapping, runic magic, branching paths, NPC reactions, makes this feel like a living, breathing world, not just a game. Critics at the time were blown away, averaged 93% scores, and players still swear by it as a timeless classic. And you know its legacy? Huge. It lit the spark for immersive sim legends. System Shock, Deus Ex, Thief, BioShock. Even id Software borrowed its 3D tricks. It helped shape Wolfenstein 3D. So yeah, if cozy is boring, and you want your dungeon crawling with depth, history, and real influence, the Abyss awaits.
Security for the Von Braun as she plows through the heavens will be the UNN Rickenbacker. At her helm will be no less than Captain William Bedford Diego himself, hero of the Battle of Boston Harbor during the Eastern States Police action.
System Shock 2. Stepping onto the Von Braun for the first time feels like waking up in a nightmare you can't escape. That's System Shock 2, an absolute cult classic from 1999 that's equal parts sci-fi, horror, and RPG. You're a UNN soldier, barely conscious, only to realize everyone else is mutated and either trying to kill you or whispering creepy messages. There's an evil AI named Shodan, who's basically the queen of digital villains, twisting your journey with mind games and monologues that stick with you long after the credits. Let me tell you guys something, playing this game feels like nostalgia. Instead of run and gun action, this game makes you think about every move. You'll juggle skills like hacking, repairing, or firing off weird psychic powers, decide how to spend upgrade points, and constantly scrounge for ammo and supplies. Every time you turn a corner, there's a new audio log to unravel, or a system to break into, making the ship a character in itself. What's wild is how System Shock 2 handles fear. It's the atmosphere, the sound design, and the constant feeling that something smarter than you is watching. Tons of remasters, fan mods, and modern releases have kept it alive, so new players can jump in on PC, Mac, or even Amazon Luna. This game didn't just inspire BioShock. It basically changed the way we think about horror in games. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Waking up on a strange island after a storm at sea isn't exactly how Link planned his day, but that's where Link's Awakening kicks off. This Game Boy classic from 1993 takes the Zelda formula somewhere totally different. No Hyrule, no Princess Zelda, no Ganon. Instead, you're stuck on Koholint Island, trying to gather 8 magical instruments to wake up the mysterious windfish and find your way home. The gameplay still feels like classic top-down Zelda, exploring, solving puzzles and tackling tricky dungeons, but it's full of quirky surprises. You'll jump over obstacles. Yep, Link actually jumps here. Run into characters from other Nintendo games like Goombas and even Kirby, and meet some pretty weird NPCs along the way. Originally starting life as a Game Boy experiment, it grew into one of the most loved Zelda adventures ever. It was later updated with the DX version for Game Boy Color in 1998, adding color graphics and a bonus dungeon, and much later, completely remade for Nintendo Switch in 2019 with gorgeous toy-like visuals. It's weird, it's charming, and it proves you don't need Hyrule to make a Zelda story unforgettable. Fallout 2. Fallout 2 drops you into a gnarly post-apocalyptic world as the Chosen One, a grandchild of the Vault Dweller. Your home village Arroyo is dying from drought, so what to do? You need to track down the mythical GEK Garden of Eden creation kit to revive the land. It's a freeform RPG where you can talk, sneak, fight, or charm your way through missions, whether that's joining gangs, messing with mutants, or trading with shady faction. Once you bag the geese, twist happens. The Enclave swoops in and kidnaps your tribe, kicking off a wild rescue quest. You eventually storm their oil rig, blow it up, and dismantle their power grip, complete with a final showdown against a mutant super agent. I remember playing it years back. Fallout 2 is still celebrated today. Critics loved its storytelling and vast world, even if it felt rough around the edges. Mods and fan projects keep it alive all these years later. Final Fantasy VIII. No Hyrule this time. Final Fantasy VIII flings you into a world where high school vibes meet epic fantasy. You're squadding up with Squall Leonhardt, a brooding cadet training at Balamb Garden to become elite CD mercenaries. He's forced to team up with a rebel named Rinoa, and together with a quirky crew, they uncover a twisted plot involving sorcery, political coups, and time manipulation. Instead of traditional MP, magic works via this wild junction system, equips spells to stats, and your character grows stronger in customizable ways. Oh, and there's a ridiculously addictive card game called Triple Triad that basically became a cult hit. This was one of the interesting RPG I remember playing. Emotion, mystery, and teenage angst drive the story. Squall starts off aloof, but warms up thanks to Rinoa, leading to a romance that feels authentic and heartfelt. But watch your head. This plot jumps through time, and there's a twist so meta it'll make your brain do somersaults. In short, Final Fantasy VIII, a moody, romantic roller coaster with a deck-building obsession, sci-fi feels, and emotional stakes that land hard. It's weird, it's beautiful, and unforgettable. Terranigma. Let's imagine playing a game where you literally rebuild the world from scratch. That's what Terranigma is all about. Released in 1995 for the SNES, it follows Ark, a cheeky kid from an underground village called Krista. One day he opens a forbidden door and accidentally freezes everyone he knows. To fix things, he's told he has to travel to the surface and restore the continents, life, and eventually human civilization itself. You start by bringing back plants, animals, and then people. Over time, you help humanity progress through history, building cities, meeting famous figures, and watching the world evolve right in front of you. The story blends light-hearted moments with deep, emotional themes about life, death, and balance. Building everything from scratch develops your interest in this one. Gameplay is top-down action RPG style. Smooth sword combat, dodge moves, and special attacks, with spells you can equip using collectible Magirock. There's a great mix of exploration, puzzle, solving, and challenging bosses, backed by an amazing soundtrack. Terranigma never officially released in North America, which is why it's still a hidden gem for many gamers. But for those who've played it, it's unforgettable. A rare SNES adventure that's both epic and meaningful.
I'm gone.
Planescape Torment. Have you ever played a game that feels more like reading a trippy, philosophical novel than slaying dragons? Welcome to Planescape Torment. You're the nameless one, a tattooed immortal dude who awakes in a mortuary with zero memory, only a wisecracking, floating skull named Mortar to guide you. From there, you're off through Sigil, the city of doors, hopping planes, chatting your way past dangers, and building a party of the weirdest squad ever. There's a justice-seeking suit of armor, a succubus, and more. This isn't combat-heavy RPG territory. Instead, it's all about deep, philosophical, and hilarious conversations. The game asks you this big question: what can change the nature of a man? And doesn't let go. It was originally dropped in 1999 and now available in a slick, enhanced edition with HD polish, bug fixes and QoL upgrades on everything: Switch, PS4, Xbox, PC, macOS, Linux, iOS and Android. Fans across Reddit still call it the best story in gaming, with insane immersion. So if RPGs ever felt like one-note fantasy before, this one rewrote the rulebook. Deep, weird, emotional, and unforgettable. Pokemon Red and Blue, aka Pocket Monsters Red and Green. Back in 1996, Nintendo and Game Freak dropped a little Game Boy RPG in Japan called Pocket Monsters Red and Green, later becoming Pokemon Red and Blue in the West. And it pretty much changed gaming forever. You play as a young trainer starting out in Pallet Town, picking your first partner, Bulbasaur, Charmander or Squirtle, and heading out to explore the Kanto region. You need to beat 8 gym leaders, take down the shady Team Rocket, complete the Pokédex by catching all 151 Pokémon, and finally challenge the Pokémon League to become the champion. Oh, and also put your cocky rival in his place. Sounds interesting, right? What made these games so unique was the mix of collecting, training, and battling. The turn-based combat meant every move mattered, and different Pokémon types kept the strategy deep. Plus, Red and Blue had version-exclusive creatures, so if you wanted to catch them all, you had to trade with friends using a link cable, making Pokémon more than just a solo game. It kicked off a global craze: TV shows, toys, trading cards, and turned characters like Pikachu, Charizard, and Mewtwo into legends. Simply put, this is where the whole Pokémon phenomenon began, and it's still iconic today. Phantasy Star 4 End of the Millennium. Phantasy Star 4 End of the Millennium is a standout RPG for the Sega Genesis, released in 1995, serving as the grand finale to the original Phantasy Star series. It masterfully blends sci-fi elements with classic fantasy themes. Set 1,000 years after Phantasy Star 2, the game unfolds in the Algo system, where civilization is rebuilding following the collapse caused by the Mother Brain. You play as Chaz Ashley, a young bounty hunter, alongside his mentor, Alice Brangwyn. Their journey begins with investigating strange occurrences and escalates into a battle against dark forces threatening the galaxy. The game retains the classic turn-based combat of its predecessors, introducing features like combination attacks and macros, allowing players to pre-program battle strategies. The techniques system offers a wide array of magical abilities, adding strategic depth. Character development is robust, with each party member having unique skills and backstories that enrich the overall experience. Phantasy Star 4 boasts impressive 16-bit graphics, with detailed sprites and vibrant environments. The soundtrack, composed by Izuho Numata and Masaki Nakagaki, is widely acclaimed, featuring memorable tracks that complement the game's atmosphere. Upon release, the game received positive reviews for its engaging story, innovative gameplay, and technical achievements. It has since become a beloved classic, often cited as one of the best RPGs of its era. So there you have it, the 15 absolute best RPGs of the 90s. Each of these classics brought something special: unforgettable stories, epic worlds, and gameplay that totally sucked us in. Whether you love catching Pokemon, battling through timeless fantasy lands, or exploring strange new realms, these games set the blueprint for everything that came after. They're not just old school, they're legends that still hold up today. If you haven't played some of them yet, now's the perfect time to dive in and see why these RPGs are still the greatest.